Hey everyone, my name's Ian and I'm here with Truffle. You guys watched our last video about brining the turkey. Now today we're going to show you how to properly air dry it, roast it off, and carve it. Alright guys, so 2 days ago, right, we put our turkey into the brine, our beautiful citrus truffle honey brine. We had that in there, and depending on the size of your turkey, you can keep it anywhere in for 24 hours, even up to 3 days if you have a really big turkey. So after you take it out of the brine, the most important part is that we get it into the fridge uncovered. You want to let this turkey air dry and be able to make sure that any excess moisture on the skin is taken off. We're going to pat it dry a little bit with a towel. So I've already done that. I've patted it dry. I can go in there a little bit more. And then you just let it sit just like this in your fridge overnight. And what this is going to do when you air dry it overnight is going to make sure that you get really crispy skin, because all that moisture is taken out of the bird now from the airflow in your fridge. Also, what it's going to do is it's going to concentrate all the flavor that we just put into it from that brine. So you're going to result with super crispy skin, really tender, juicy meat, and it's going to have so much flavor packed in there from that brine. Because like we talked about in the brine video, what you're doing is you're replacing the water that's naturally in the protein with your flavored brine. So all of that salt and sugar and aromats, they're all going to be in there. And now that you've air dried it, it just really reinforces it. Alright, so the next most important part about cooking your turkey is going to be properly tempering it, right? So you want to take your bird out anywhere from 45 minutes to even up to an hour and 30 minutes, depending on the size. You can keep it wrapped the whole time. But you want to take it out so that way when you go to put your bird in the oven, it's not ice cold. You need it to be roughly closer to room temperature than it would be. This is going to ensure that your cook time is one, shortened, and two, it's going to give you a more even cook throughout your bird, right? You're going to make sure that your breast is fully cooked, that your drumstick and thigh are fully cooked, and by tempering it, that's going to help it a lot. While we are tempering the bird, what you can do is you can cut up all of your vegetables to put underneath. So here I have carrots, mushrooms, leeks, onions, celery, a bunch of thyme, bay leaf, garlic, black peppercorns. There's all these really flavorful items that we're going to put underneath, and this is going to add to your sauce when you go and make your gravy, right? So this is going to add in all those beautiful flavors into it, really nice. I've also got my turkey neck down here as well, so that we held on to. You keep that in the base, and everything will roast off together, and you'll see at the end all those pan drippings. It's going to be incredible, guys. Okay, guys, so the next step, and one of the most crucial steps of cooking your turkey, is properly trussing it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by tucking the wings underneath the back. So what I do here is I pick up the turkey by the neck and I flip the wings underneath like so. So I take it and I put it under there, and they'll naturally just hook in. So now I have those secured. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my string, and what I've done is I've soaked the string in a bit of water, so that way when it goes into the hot oven it doesn't burn. You want to use a decent sized string. If you don't have something this thickness, what you can always do is just double down and do something like that, and then wrap it that way if you have a thinner string, and that's no problem. So I'm going to start underneath the breastbone. So this is the neck of the bird right here. Breasts are right here. So I'm going to start underneath, and what you're trying to achieve is that the breasts will plump up and it's going to hold the bird together. So when it's closer together, and you'll see in just a second, this is going to ensure consistent and even cooking throughout the bird. So you'll see as soon as I tie these, and for the string I have about 1 arm length to shoulder length, and if it's a little bit bigger you can extend a little more. You always want to give yourself enough room to really grab the rope at the end and not be struggling with tying it. So I'm going to come here under the breastbone, and I'm going to tie it right here. And watch how this is all going to plump up. You see that? How it all just came together like that? So under here, I have it strung up there and strung up on this side. And that brings everything together. And you're going to cinch your rope in pretty tight right there in order to hold that shape. So I have my string here. I'm going to go over and under with my string, and I'm going to cross them like this. And then I'm going to take one leg, the left leg, and go over the right leg and pull it together. And then I'm going to pull this string tight, and it all comes together like that. You see that? From that point, I'm then going to cross and lock in there. And then I will double knot this to lock it all in. And that's all you need to do. Your bird is trussed. So we got the turkey in the oven now. We're putting it in for the first 30 minutes at 425 degrees. The reason why we're doing this is we want to start it hot to really get that nice crispy skin and beautiful color on the outside of the turkey. So I've got it in there now. I'm going to check it in about 30 minutes, and then we'll take it out, we'll take a look at it, and we'll show you guys where we're at from there. All right, guys, so at this point, what we've done, right, we put our bird into the oven at 425, and it's going to take about half an hour to an hour in order to achieve this color. The color's going to continue to darken as you're cooking it, but not too much more once you drop down the temperature. So once you've achieved this beautiful golden brown right here, you're going to drop the temperature down, and you're going to cook it at around anywhere between 325 and 350 until the bird is completely cooked. And a big trick to tell if the bird is cooked is to kind of give it a push on the breast and make sure that the juices down here are running completely clear. So you don't want any red tinge to it. It's going to be 100% clear, right? So you guys, I know it might be a little hard to see, but my juice is running clear, so I know my bird is totally cooked. If you have a temperature probe at home, you can also temp your bird. You want the bird to be cooked to 165 degrees, but you're actually going to pull it out a bit earlier than that. So you're going to pull it out at about 155 degrees. And then because this turkey is in the oven for so long, the carryover cook is going to bring it up until 165, which is what you're going for. If you pull it out at 165, your turkey will actually inevitably be overcooked, which is not what we want. After you've cooked the bird, right, and it comes out of the oven, one of the most important parts of cooking your turkey is making sure it's properly rested. So depending on the size of your bird, you're going to rest it anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour. And generally a key of resting your protein is that it's just about half of the amount of time that you cooked it for. So if I cooked the bird for 4 hours, I can rest it for upwards of an hour. I know it's not halfway. You don't need to rest it much longer than that. But the thing is that's going to make sure that all of those juices come back together, right? So when the protein is really hot, the juices are running freely. And if you go to just carve into it immediately, those juices won't retain in the meat, and they're going to run out as soon as you go to carve it. So by just letting it sit out on the countertop for 30 minutes to an hour, what you're doing is that moisture is coming back together, it's retaining the moisture in the meat, and then when I go to carve it, I'm going to have this beautiful, juicy, tender bird. So I'm going to take my bird, I'm going to put it onto my cutting board, and then I'm going to cut down here, and I'm just going to cut that off. Take that string out. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take our leg and thigh off. And what you want to do with that is you want to just gently pull this leg to the side using the tip of your knife, cut through the skin, and you're going to ride this bone down. Come around the pelvis, and you can kind of snap this leg down and get in to carve it off. cut through. And you see all these juices in here? They're all running totally clear, right? My meat's cooked. It's still nice and tender. I'm gonna come in, get my oyster, come down, and you're just gonna pull this away. Same thing on the other side. Pull that leg, just using the tip of my knife, break through that skin, come down around the pelvis bone. I'm gonna spin the turkey a little bit so you guys can see it from this angle. Break the leg down and come in. And you're gonna just get in between that joint right here and the body, and you're snapping that down and just continuing to carve through. Now I have my leg totally intact. Clean my board. And now I'm going to carve the breast. Use a sawing motion in order to slice this turkey breast. So anytime you're carving protein, you want to go back and forth and use the knife, right? So I'm going to start and I'm going to slice all the way down. So I'm going to go again using that sawing motion. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the wing off. We can take the wing off by getting right in here with the joint and just cutting straight down, pulling that to the side, cutting right through. Then you have your turkey wing, which you can then split again. You have your two pieces. And there you go. Now you have a beautifully brined, air dried, perfectly cooked, beautifully rested, tender turkey. All right, so now we have roasted our turkey. We've got it brined, dried, carved up, and we are ready to eat, everyone. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching these videos, and I hope this has been helpful for you, because truthfully, brining and air drying these little tiny tips that we're giving you today is going to make Thanksgiving so much superior. Thanks guys, really appreciate it.